We used to get water from outside the school. I used to walk many kilometers in order to get that water.
Me, I was waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning. And the whole day, I have 1 hour to study because I was to fetch water.
Some of them were bound to stay home because it was hectic for them to bring water. By so doing, they are also losing some of the lessons.
One of the key challenges, particularly in the rural area, is the issue to do with functionality. Roughly 33.3% of rural water utilities are not functional at any given time.
We had many facilities, water facilities that have been developed for the people, but they are all dilapidated. Some of them had been neglected and they are not operating anymore.
Utilities were managed by Water Management Committee. These are voluntary committee which had no technical and financial skills to run water services.
Revenue collection is very down, collection efficiency just like zero, non-revenue is very high, response time to the emergencies in the field is nowhere, there's no customer care. Actually, the entire system was not in place. Market Assistance Program intervened by tapping into the private operators' expertise and see how they can bring in some sustainable management techniques.
And therefore what we are trying to do is to promote what we call public-private community partnership, where private operators, public utilities and communities get into a sort of tripartite contractual arrangement where the private parties will bring their investment, build infrastructure and run that infrastructure for a period of time, and at appropriate time hand over that infrastructure either to the county government or to the water service provider. MAP facilitated Lake Victoria North and Lake Victoria South Water Services Board to go through a process of procurement, facilitated the whole process of capacity building, business-to-business linkages, and also looking at how to build the knowledge of stakeholders on this new model. We were able to organize a number of technical trainings for the operators. We were able to design what we call Sustainable Water Fund to provide a stopgap financing opportunities for the private operators to do minor rehabilitation and have access to working capital.
Navaholo Water Project was a community water project before we came in. The challenges we found there were that those who are working for the community water project were not being paid. The power was disconnected. Actually, there was no water, absolutely.
I found so many bursts, that is leakages, and that constituted to almost over 90% non-revenue water.
So when we came in, we started to pay the bills. We reconnected the power. We started replacing the damaged pipelines. Then we ensure that people get water on a timely basis.
We made sure that all those people who had meters initially were at least getting water.
Where there is burst, the response time, we've managed to make it 1 day. We've also done some rehabilitation with some springs, intake springs, because they had so much silts, and that has really improved the water quality.
Staff, we have somehow tripled their pay, and we also pay them in time.
SNV and Kakamega Busia came in when they were only at 80 connections. Now they have about 400 connections. And because of the Safe Water Awareness campaign and the kind of training that has gone in for the community management team and the whole community, now we have people paying their bills.
When a customer sees water on his tap, even if it is twice, thrice, or 4 times in a week, he has the willingness to pay.
We found that the community was collecting around 37,000 a month. Unlike now, whereby we are collecting around 230. That is over 700% increase or 600% increase. Our non-revenue water is coming from 89 to less than even 20%. But due to the fact that we don't have meters, it's a challenge.
All the 6 projects do not have modern billing system in place by the time the private operators came on board. And therefore that was identified as one of the hindrances to service delivery. And currently there is a firm that is working with the 6 water project to help them to install billing software.
But once we get the meters and meter all these people and we bill people according to the consumption they get, we are bound to increase these collections by at least maybe 50%.
Wakati ule tulikuwa tunaenda umbali, unayasanya manguo, unaenda na manguo, unaenda kufua kwa mazaa mtoni, lakini saa hizi nafulia tu hapa karibu. Ni maji safi, haina uchafu, napata wakati mzuri kufanya kazi zingine.
Maji ndio usima ya watu. Kazi yote inafanyikanga shauri ya maji. Ikiosha vyombo na mwaga hapo. Sasa siona hiyo mboga inatoka. Lakini ukienda mahali ingine hakuna maji huwezi kupata hiyo. Sasa nakuja vizuri sana. Hata mimi nakisikia vizuri sana.
As a business, we need to make the community believe in us. And business is about profit. And with our projection, we think, we are very sure that by the end of this year, we'll be getting returns.
If we put a lot of money in water, then we will reduce the expenditure we spend on health. If we increase our water supply to cover all households, even in rural areas, then the performance of the girl child will go up, because then they will have more time on their hands to study. Then I think the economy of the county will also move to the next level with water.
This water have made me more time to study. I'm seeing that is always changing my life.